Yo, what's up everybody? It's me, WDMichael, and in today's YouTube video, we're going to be talking about Pokemon VGC and the upcoming Regulation E rule set that is coming out here in just a couple of weeks. We are still stuck in Regulation D, so we can't play these new Pokemon on the rank ladder quite yet, but because the Teal Mask has released, we can start building and utilizing some of these new Pokemon in some team building so we can get prepped for Regulation E when it does actually come out. Now, whenever new regulation comes out, I do like to play something a little bit more comfortable. So in this WD Learns VGC episode, we are going to be going back to Trick Room. Now, Trick Room has kind of struggled a little bit in Scarlet and Violet. It's definitely an archetype that is still around, but unfortunately, Tailwind is just a really strong composition. And because Trick Room always goes last, it ends up being one of those ones where it has a lot of ways to counter it. In Sword and Shield, it was a lot easier with Dynamax. There was a lot more tools that it got that helped it get into Trick Room, but with the removal of Dynamax, we've definitely been in a little bit of a struggle, and you can tell that Trick Room has not been as strong. Now, with the Teal Mask coming out, we did get some Pokemon additions that are really valuable in Trick Room. One of the big ones being Dusclops. Dusclops is an absolutely massive Trick Room Pokemon and does really well in that kind of archetype for Pokemon VGC. So in this YouTube video, we're going to go over a team that one of my moderators, Anagirna, made for me that involves Dusclops and some other really awesome Trick Room Pokemon that I think may be able to do really well in Regulation E. So let's hop into the video, check out this team, and see how well this one might end up doing in Regulation E. Okay, so here we are with the Trick Room team that my lovely moderator Anagirna made for me. I definitely asked specifically for a couple of Pokemon, one of them being Conkeldurr, as well as Dusclops. I think there were two new additions that Trick Room possibly are getting that could really help out those teams. Now, if you do want to play with this rental code, the rental code is up in the top right corner of the screen there. You can't use it on the rank ladder quite yet because some of these Pokemon aren't there, but you could definitely use it in some casual battles. Any of the online tournaments hosted by a lot of the amazing people in the community like Nino Pokebros, Himi Turner, Tom Hayden. I mean, there's just a ton of tournaments. On top of that, the Wide League, which I host myself every Saturday night. So yeah, definitely, there's plenty of opportunities to test these teams before it actually is coming out. And I definitely suggest if you're getting into VGC to check those out. There will be links to the Wide League down below if you're ever curious about it. But with this team in particular, there are a few things that after testing it that I would probably change. Just simple things. Really, most of the Pokemon do really well in this one, and one of the big ones is Vikavolt. Vikavolt is really cool. It ends up soaking a lot of damage from Fluttermanes and stuff like that, and it can be really used as a kind of powerhouse Pokemon that knocks out a bunch of things in the meta that people weren't expecting. Bug Buzz and Flash Cannon both being a steel, as well as a bug type move, knock out a lot of grass type Pokemon and a lot of those fairy type Pokemon. So it ends up being a pretty solid Pokemon. One of the things that I would change is the Dusclops. I would probably give it a Dark Terra just because it doesn't have any way to deal with any of the taunts that are happening from a lot of these prankster Pokemon. That could definitely be a way to make this Pokemon a little bit more viable, especially if you're planning on getting hit with like a Shadow Ball. You can kind of mitigate some of the damage. So I think a Dark Dusclops might be better. The other one that I would change is the Gastrodon. I would probably put Covert Cloak and then do something like a Fire Terra Gastrodon. I've always found that to be really awesome. And then also removing Sludge Bomb for Earth Power. So yeah, those would be my kind of things. Otherwise, other than that, like I feel like this team still has really solid potential. It can do definitely pretty well, and it'll definitely give us an idea of how this team and as far as Trick Room will end up running in Regulation E. So let's hop over to the casual ladder, let's play a couple games, and let's just see how this team ends up working. Okay, so we've got our opponent. I'm super excited. Now, first off, big thing with these videos, I am not a master team builder. It's not something that I am. It's definitely something that I am getting more familiar with and comfortable with. So I am very open in the comments if you want to leave any sort of constructive criticism or any changes to the team that you think would be beneficial. I would love to hear from some of you big brain Pokemon VGC players. It'll only help me be a better Pokemon player as well as a Pokemon team builder. So I would absolutely encourage you to post as much criticism constructively or any changes you would make in the comments below so that I can take a look at them and definitely make sure and comment back on them. So yeah, we have a pretty, actually this might be a really solid matchup. This is going to be something that we might end up seeing in the Regulation E rule set. We've got Clefairy, a new Pokemon with Follow Me Friend Guard, Politoed. This should be pretty cool. I'm excited about this one. But with them, I don't really see any like real major way to get out of Trick Room. Unless they have something like Perish Trap, which they could with like, they've got some things that they could do for sure. But will they do it? I don't know. I think that Vikavolt could do really, really well here. I also think that... Man, I almost want to say Dusclops. We are running out of time though, so let's bring in Ursaluna and let's bring... Oh, no. I want to bring in the Gaster because we got some water. All right. So yeah, this should be pretty solid. I think we'll be doing pretty good with this one. They've got a pretty interesting team comp. I like the Politoed a lot. Politoed has definitely got some like really cool tools that it gets access to, like Perish and stuff like that. So yeah, this will be a good one. Clefairy is also a huge problem. Fredguard is really, really good on Clefairy. All right, so we've got shiny Politoed and shiny Toxicroak. I'm really, really worried about what this Politoed is going to do, to be completely honest. Like, it scares the living daylights out of me. I am not ready for it. But we are going to Trick Room just to get that out of here. And then I think I'm just going to straight up... I think I'm just going to Thunderbolt this Politoed. I don't see any reason not to. Just going to try and... Ooh, he withdrew. Okay, so what are we bringing in? We get the Clefairy. Okay, so we'll get a nice chunk of damage off from this Clefairy right off the bat, which will be nice. I don't know. The Toxicroak might know like a dark type move. I just don't know how much... I don't think that it's going to be able to knock out a Dusclops. Ooh, my sound's off. I didn't even realize that. Hold on. I turned it off when I was recording a video. Okay, so he just poisoned me. He poison slammed me. That did a ton of damage. That did an absolutely insane amount of damage. Wow. Even with Fredguard, that absolutely crushed him. So I think what we're going to do is... He's probably going to follow me and or protect. So I could protect for one turn just to see what he's going to end up doing. Just so that I can make sure I can get off. I think we'll protect on this turn. Yeah, so he did use protect, which is fine because I think he... The thing was, his Vikavolt was below 50 and I'm pretty sure that he was aware that he could have just knocked out the Vikavolt to be protected. And I targeted the Clef. So what we'll do now is we should be fine to just Nightshade into the Clefairy again. Ooh, he Earthquaked. Okay. This probably won't do a whole lot to Dusclops. I'd be really surprised if it did much of anything, really. Yeah, it didn't. It didn't do a whole lot, and that's exactly what we're hoping for. All right, now we're going to go ahead and hit the Toxicroak. This should do a nice chunk of damage. There isn't going to be any more Friend Guard, so we've got that in our back pocket. And Toxicroak, not super bulky Pokemon, so now if they protect the Toxicroak, that would be a really solid turn because they would soak out another turn of Trick Room, but they didn't. So we get a nice Nightshade into Politoed, a little chunk of damage. And honestly, this Thunderbolt might knock out. It did. Yeah, it absolutely crushed that Toxicroak. So now we have a one like shot Clefairy. This is interesting because now we've got the issue of like E-Speed. We have 2 turns of Trick Room. There's a good chance that Politoed protects. I kind of just want to Will-O-Wisp the Dragonite. And then protect this guy for the final turn. But if we can get a burn off on the Dragonite, because he's probably going to be like E-Speed. Oh, he's Steel. That's different. I wasn't expecting that, to be honest. But hopefully this Willow goes off. The Willow going off would be top tier. Top tier. Let's go. All right, so the Dragonite's burned. We can mitigate a ton of damage now. He Hurricane Beam. Okay. He took out a chunk of damage. Okay. I think I want to get my HP back. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to pain split this Dragonite. And then I think I'm going to Thunderbolt this slot. I want to be at full HP, or at least as close to it as possible, if I can. Okay, so that thing is absolutely toast. The Dragonite's burned. We're in a really, really good spot, even if we lose Trick Room, because we still got 4 Pokemon, and they have a burned Dragonite and a one-shot Clefairy. We're definitely in a pretty commanding spot with this at the moment. Hurricane knocks out. It's totally fine. So now, like I said, we've got the 1 HP Clefairy. We've got Dusclops that's at full HP, and the Dragonites that are burned. There's no way that they're going to be able to stop us from going into Trick Room, I think, at this point. So we should be able to just go right back into Trick Room and just absolutely annihilate right now. I think we'll just bring the Ursaluna because we're going to protect anyways. Pretty good so far. This one definitely went exactly how we needed it to. And honestly, Vikavolt, like, so good. Vikavolt is absolutely one of just, like, it surprisingly does really, really well into a lot of the Pokemon. Its move pool is top tier for a lot of the meta stuff right now. Hurricane goes into the Ursaluna. Perfect protect. We don't even have to worry about it. And we get a heal pulse. Nice. Okay. Got a little bit of restored HP. Trick Room goes out. And now we can begin this whole process again. So we can just Nightshade the Clefairy. And then we need to hit this Dragonite. I think we just hit EQ. Nice. Clefairy's down. So no more Friend Guard. Ursaluna uses EQ. Going to crush the Dragonite, and that is a solid win with the Trick Room team. That was fantastic. That went really, really well. It just goes to show just how dominant, like, speed control in VGC is really just the biggest thing ever. It's always going to be the dominating thing because whoever's Pokemon goes first determines so much in a match. It's insane. So yeah, if you can actually utilize Trick Room really well and get into it, it's really, really good. And I think, honestly, I really think that Dusclops is in a position where he might actually make Trick Room a little bit more viable. He's really good. He can soak a ton of hits. And then Pain Split. My Pain Split is so good on Dusclops. It is crazy. You can just absolutely soak a ton of damage and then just get back to full HP once Trick Room is done. Wild. I love that Pokemon. Is definitely one of my favorite like Trick Room Pokemon, or at least supportive Trick Room Pokemon. So yeah, I'm glad that it's back, and I'm super excited to use it. But yeah, fantastic match. I enjoyed that one a lot. Yo, thanks so much for coming out to my WD Learns VGC video where we talked about Trick Room and the Trick Room team that was made for me by one of my moderators for the new Regulation E rule set. Definitely really awesome. I'm really loving Trick Room at the moment. Again, I feel like it's getting more tools that it needs in order to be actually viable, and we might actually start seeing a little bit more Trick Room on the ranked ladder, which I'm super excited for. I know it's an absolute monster to go up against if you're not prepared for it. So let's do it, man. I'm really excited about it. And like I said in the comments below, make sure you go and let us know if there's any changes to this team, any constructive criticism. I would love nothing more than for these videos to have a bunch of comments about just what you guys think about the teams, what changes you might think, because that is just how we will all learn and grow, and it'll help me out more than you know. I am not a perfect Pokemon VGC player. I still have a ton to learn. It'll be nice to hear and learn from some of you awesome community members in the VGC community. So again, thank you all so much. If you end up using the rental, let me know. I'd love to hear about it. And let's see, what else we got? If you want to come over to my Twitch channel, hang out with me while I'm live playing Pokemon VGC, I will definitely be doing some viewer rentals or viewer battles here on my Twitch channel now that I've got some Pokemon teams to use in Regulation E. So make sure you hop on by, come and challenge me. I'd love to battle against you and just overall just talk about Pokemon VGC in general. If you're curious about Pokemon VGC tournaments or online tournaments, I host a bunch of them on a regular basis with the Wide League. And if you want more information about the Wide League or any tournaments that I host, make sure you go down to the description of this video. There will be a link to the Twitter as well as the Discord for the Wide League. Again, thank you all so much for coming out to my YouTube video. I'm super excited. We've got some more videos coming out specifically for VGC with a couple of my really good buddies, Saiyan, Bush, and Nibs. We've been doing some team building, and I've got some more teams that I've been excited about using and bringing to this YouTube channel to show you and share some of these awesome rentals that we've been making. So again, thank you all so much for coming out to the YouTube channel. I hope you have a fantastic day out in Paldea and Kitakami. I'll see you later. Peace.